Okay, so have you ever noticed the world? Well, skipping a beat.
Skipping a beat.
Yeah, you know that feeling, that perfect, uncanny moment. The air goes still, maybe, and something feels just a little too orchestrated.
Ah, right. A
Yep.
bit too precise.
Exactly. We're not just talking about like simple good luck here.
No, no.
We're diving into those moments of, profound déjà vu or maybe impossible coincidences, what some serious thinkers actually call sharp synchronicity.
And these experiences, they really challenge our most basic assumption, don't they? That reality is just smooth, continuous, predictable.
Completely.
Our sources for this deep dive, specifically this provocative essay collection from a theorist called Jules 9000, they present a pretty radical idea.
Which is,
What if these things, these occurrences, aren't just random chance, not statistical anomalies? What if they're, well, intentional signal?
okay, intentional signals. So that's the mission today, then.
Pretty much.
We're exploring this idea that maybe we can deliberately engage with these apparent flaws in the matrix, you could say.
Yeah. Flaws or maybe features.
Ah, features, right.
Yeah.
We're diving into this core thesis. What if the glitch is guidance?
It's a total shift in perspective, isn't it?
It really is. Taking these moments from being like frustrating errors or just weird to being highly personalized signposts.
Exactly. It's basically an invitation to stop dismissing these little cracks in the sidewalk of reality and maybe start treating them as actual directional input, like GPS for your life path almost.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Hmm.
If reality isn't always smooth and predictable, what specific things does this source, Jules 9000, identify as these cracks or glitches? What are we actually looking for?
Well, Jules 9000 gives us a pretty concrete list, a taxonomy, really.
Okay.
It includes the familiar stuff like déjà vu, sure, but it focuses quite heavily on synchronicity that has this palpable quality. Like it feels definitely not random.
How so? Like, give me an example of that too sharp to be random thing, because, coincidences happen all the time.
Right. Simple coincidence is background noise. Think about it like this. Maybe a hypothetical example reflecting what the source points to. Let's say you've been obsessing for weeks about a really niche business idea,
Okay.
say vertical farming, but specifically in old abandoned shipping containers. You've been drawing plans, making notes.
Got it. Very specific.
Very specific. Then you're driving, maybe stuck in traffic, and you glance up at a massive billboard. And on that billboard is the exact picture of the shipping container farm you designed, promoting some obscure book called, like, The Vertical Container Entrepreneur.
Whoa.
Yeah. That level of specificity, that's the kind of sharpness we're talking about. It's not just seeing two cars the same color.
Okay, yeah, that definitely moves beyond finding like two pennies on the street.
Right.
That feels, like a direct ping or something, an intervention.
It does. The source also talks about frequently seeing repeating numbers.
Ah, the 11.11 thing, or 333.
Exactly that kind of thing. But not just noticing it once. It's about them appearing consistently on clocks, receipts, license plates, especially when you're actively thinking about a specific big life question or decision.
Interesting. Okay, what else?
And then there's maybe the uncanniest one for some people.
Ah,
That moment when a total stranger, maybe someone next to you on the bus or in line for coffee, they say the exact words, maybe even the precise phrase that was just in your head like 2 seconds before.
oh, that's happened to me. That's genuinely weird when it happens.
It is weird. So the source basically groups all these things, déjà vu, the numbers, the right song, playing at the perfect moment, these shared thoughts under this umbrella term, glitches.
Okay.
And this is where the real conflict or the challenge from the source material comes in. Because most of us, our default is to just dismiss it. Right?
Yeah, you rationalize it. Brain hiccups, statistics, whatever.
Exactly. Neurological explanations, probability. But Jules 9000 flips it and asks very directly, what if the glitch is not an error, but a doorway?
The doorway. Okay, that is the critical pivot, isn't it?
It totally reframes your role as the observer.
So let's get into the interpretation then. If it's not an error, what is it? What does the source actually claim is happening here?
The interpretation is, well, it's quite metaphorical, but it resonates with people. The idea is that the glitch means the code of reality is showing itself.
The code? Like the Matrix again?
Sort of, but maybe less dystopian. It's not that the code is broken or corrupted. It's more like, for that brief moment, you are vibrating at just the right frequency to actually perceive the underlying structure. Think about it like clothes. When you buy a really expensive, well-made piece of clothing, the stitches are perfect, hidden.
Right.
But on a cheaply made shirt, sometimes you can see the seams, right? The way it's
Oh,
put together.
yeah, you see the seams in the fabric. Okay, I get that analogy.
The glitch is like momentarily seeing that seam in reality.
And what's really important here, you're saying, is that the source doesn't say this means the whole system is broken, or that we should panic about being in some failing simulation.
Exactly right. It explicitly rejects that fear-based view. Instead, it's actually framed as quite empowering.
Empowering how?
It means you are being invited to notice, to tune in, and crucially, to act. The glitch acts like an internal spotlight, basically,
Spotlight. On what?
on whatever trajectory you're currently on, or whatever thought you were just holding, or the decision you're facing right now. It momentarily highlights that thing as being really significant for your, let's say, true path.
And that really challenges how we usually look for direction, doesn't it?
Totally.
We wait for the big, obvious signs. The job offer, the doctor's diagnosis, some huge life event. We expect guidance to be dramatic.
Yeah, we expect guidance to come like thunder in the sky, right? A booming voice saying, go left.
Exactly.
But this source material suggests, well, pretty much the opposite. Guidance comes as small static, tiny sparks. It's subjective, it's subtle.
You know, I find that kind of practical, actually,
How so?
because it means guidance isn't just reserved for those massive life turning points. It's potentially always available in the small moments.
That's precisely the implication.
Mhm.
That small static, if you interpret it through this framework, it communicates a really simple but powerful message. You are aligned. Keep walking.
Keep walking.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
Exactly. And if we connect this back to you, the listener, maybe you're someone looking for quicker insight, right? Less confusion.
Most people are, I think.
Well, this framework offers a kind of metaphysical shortcut. It suggests you don't always need that big external validation. The universe or the system, whatever you want to call it, is giving you this momentary internal feedback.
Confirming you're on the right track.
Yes.
Yeah.
Affirming that you've successfully tuned into the code, so to speak. The small static is the confirmation.
Okay, so we've defined the glitch. We understand this philosophical invitation to see it as guidance. But look, if we're actually going to use these glitches as tools, as navigation, we need some concrete actions. Right?
Absolutely.
And the source doesn't just leave it at philosophy, does it? It offers a practical method.
It does. There's a clear 3-step process suggested for anyone willing to actually engage with this guidance system.
Okay, let's hear them. What are the steps?
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. Step 1, when one of these sharp synchronicities actually happens, is surprisingly simple. Just pause.
Pause. That's it.
Just pause. Don't immediately brush it off. Our brains are trained, really conditioned, to rationalize these things away instantly.
Oh, that was just the algorithm, or I must have seen that number earlier and forgot.
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
exactly. So this first step demands that you actually recognize the moment, acknowledge its energetic intensity. The source even uses a little lightning bolt symbol to emphasize that feeling, that jolt of recognition.
Okay, so feel the jolt before the rational mind explains it away. I get that. But then that leads straight to the big challenge, doesn't it? Subjectivity.
How do you mean?
Well, the second step is document. The source suggests starting your own glitch log using a little notebook icon. But if I start actively looking for these patterns, how does Jules 9000 deal with confirmation bias? Won't I just start seeing 11.10 everywhere because I expect to?
That's a really important critique, a necessary one, and the source is definitely aware of it.
So what's the answer?
The key difference, supposedly, between just confirmation bias and a useful glitch log lies in the intensity and the context of the experience you record.
Ah,
The log isn't meant to be a list of every single tiny coincidence. It's specifically for those too sharp to be random events, the ones that really give you that jolt.
right. The billboard example, not the 2 pennies example.
Precisely. And by forcing yourself to write down the exact context, like what specific question were you grappling with? What deep emotional state were you in right then? The log helps prevent just generalizing or seeing patterns where there aren't any meaningful ones.
Okay. So it turns a fleeting subjective feeling into something more concrete, data you can review.
Exactly. You're not just looking for number repetitions, you're looking for thematic convergence around those moments.
What themes keep popping up when the glitches happen?
Yes. You're essentially cataloging the specific conditions under which these seams in reality become visible to you. The patterns that emerge from a really dedicated, detailed glitch log are argued to be less about pure statistics and more about, well, deep thematic resonance in your own life journey.
Okay, that makes sense. Pause. Document. What's the third step?
The third step, well, this is the one that requires a bit more courage, maybe.
Uh-oh.
The third step is act. The source uses a door symbol.
Act based on the glitch. But the guidance is subtle, right?
Yeah.
Just small static.
Yeah.
How much weight does the source say we should actually give this static compared to, cold, hard, rational analysis?
Right.
Especially if the static seems to point towards something illogical or risky.
Yeah, this is the real leverage point of the whole framework. And the source is pretty clear here. The glitch isn't meant to completely override your rational thought. It's not about throwing logic out the window.
Okay.
It's meant to provide extra weight, extra leverage, specifically in moments of genuine indecision.
When you're really stuck between options.
Exactly. Let's say you're genuinely debating two potential career paths, path A and path B. You've done the pros and cons, the research. Maybe it's almost 50-50.
Right.
If, in that specific context of indecision, you receive an undeniable sharp synchronicity related to path A, maybe that perfect song lyric pops up, or a stranger mentions something specific to it, or you get a strong repeating number sequence right after thinking about path A, the framework suggests using that static as a strong directional input. A nudge.
So if my rational analysis says path B is maybe like 51% the better choice on paper,
Yeah.
but the universe throws three really powerful specific glitches at me related to path A. Jules 9000 is basically saying, let the static tip the scales towards A.
That's precisely the suggestion. You shift from just passively experiencing these weird coincidences to actively leveraging them as a navigational tool.
Yeah.
The glitch acts as that internal yes or no when the external data is just too close to call, or maybe even points slightly the other way.
It suggests that when you're aligned, the universe kind of highlights the best doorway for you.
And the challenge is simply having the trust, maybe the courage to actually walk through it. This whole framework, pause, document, act, it gives you a tangible way to move from that place of uncertainty towards actual direction.
That really is a powerful synthesis, actually. It's fascinating how the source takes these things that often make us question our sanity, right?
Yeah, the repeating numbers, the uncanny timing.
And turns them into potentially the clearest sign that you are, at that moment, vibrating at the right frequency, aligned with the code of reality, as it were.
It completely reframes doubt as potential clarity. If you're experiencing these sharp glitches, according to this view, it doesn't mean you're going crazy. It means you're paying attention.
And you're close to something important.
Close to an important decision or a key realization, yeah. The static isn't noise. It's confirmation that the system is, in a way, ready to cooperate with your conscious intent.
Wow. Okay, that's a fantastic summation of this deep dive. So to wrap things up, the core takeaway, the kind of mantra from this source material is really simple, isn't it?
It is.
The glitch is guidance. It's this invitation to notice the seams and maybe step through the door.
Exactly. And that leads perfectly into maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to carry forward today.
Okay.
Just remember the level of subtlety we're talking about here. The universe, according to this perspective, doesn't communicate with big, booming, obvious commands. No detailed instruction manuals.
No thunder from the sky.
No thunder, it whispers and glitches. So the real challenge isn't finding some huge dramatic sign. It's about cultivating the sensitivity, the awareness, to recognize and actually listen for that small static the next time the world seems to skip a beat just for you.
Go start listening.
Go start listening. Maybe even check back what might your glitch log already contain if you started one today.